Hi, this is the big review of 2022. Well, I'm kind of exaggerating that, but yes, the Book of Boba Fett, episodes 5 and 6. Let's confine it into one very long review. Not exactly, but let's see how it goes. So, the 5th episode. It's amazing. It's, even though Boba Fett's not in it. By the way, this is spoilers, but the thumbnail already has the spoilers, but oh well. So, this episode is about the return of the Mandalorian, ever since we saw him in Season 2. So, it's about where Din goes on a bounty hunt journey. He's going back to bounty hunting, and, yes, he gets his bounty so he could, get the money so he can go get a new ship, since the Razor Crest got destroyed in, Season 2 of the show of Mandalorian, and so he meets up with his armored cult people of Mandalorians, and they get into a big fight of training, because Din is learning to use the Darksaber, and he's not exactly good at using it because it's heavy. It's like Star Wars Rebels, where Sabine is having trouble using the Darksaber, and so that's a good parallel. And here comes the big part. As the two Mandalorians are fighting, it's interrupted by the armor, and she asks Din if he removed his helmet. And I like the part where it's silent, and then Din goes, yes. And then, basically, like any cult, you get kicked out. And, yeah, I kind of like how people are comparing this to how any community that brainwashes people, like, I like the comparison of our real world with Star Wars. That's what I meant. So, yeah, I'm not saying I like cults. I don't. So, yeah. And then Din goes to Tatooine. He also got a gift that he's going to give Grogu. And I like the mentions of Moff Gideon. He apparently is going to get executed. It looks like we're going to get that more explored in Season 3 of The Mandalorian. And, yeah, Din goes on the ship that takes him to Tatooine, and he had to remove all his weapons and stuff, and, yeah, he arrives on Tatooine, and, he meets with that junk girl, like, the junker, I don't know what to call her, and we see a BD-1 droid, and I don't know if this is the same one from Fallen Order, but I thought that was an awesome Easter egg, and I thought they didn't really care about the other stuff, but they do, and, Din basically builds this Starfire from Naboo, and I thought that was a cool tie-in to the prequels, and, yeah, Din flies it, and, it's pretty fun to see. Like, I'm feeling the vibe from the Mandalorian, like, the adventure aspect. That's what I like about it. And then Din runs into a few X-Wing pilots, and, yeah, they question him and recognize him, and, Din speds off. That part made me snicker. And then Din arrives back on Tatooine and says wizard. I like that line. And then the girl asks Din if a girl has arrived, and it's Fennec Shand, of course, and she says that they need more muscle for Boba Fett, and yeah, Din says yes, but he has to go see a little friend, and of course that's Grogu. So what I like about this episode, it's amazing. It feels like The Mandalorian. Sure, there's no Boba Fett really that relevant. I wish we could have saw Boba, but hey, he's in the recap. Does that count? Probably not, but I thought that was good enough. And so, this episode just overshadows the other episodes, I gotta be honest. Like, they explore interesting stuff. The Mandalorians. We even get a flashback of the Great Purge. That's very fascinating stuff. I'd love to learn more about what's going on. Looks like we're gonna get more, hopefully. And explores Din well, and we get a planet that looks like the thing from Star Wars Rebels. And I rate this episode like a 9.5 out of 10. Just a lot of good storytelling. So let's get into the next episode. The next episode of the Book of Boba Fett, or you like to call it The Mandalorian. But this one's about where Din visits, guess what? Grogu. But as he visits him, here's the big spoiler. He gets to see Luke Skywalker, the return of Luke Skywalker, since we saw him in Mando Season 2, and the return of R2-D2. I liked the interaction Din had with R2. It was just, R2 was just like beep boop, and then Din's like, where is Master Skywalker? Then R2 shuts down. I thought that was interesting, because he shuts down in the sequel trilogy, but he's awakened at the end of Force Awakens, so that made me thinking maybe R2's getting older, and he's having shutdowns for no reason, because it's part of his system. I don't know. But that part was interesting, and there's a bunch of these, like, crab robot things that are, like, building these, Luke's Jedi Temple. And it looks like the one from The Last Jedi, so, that looks like good future setup or foreshadowing. And then we see typical Grogu trying to eat a frog, and then that's when we see Luke. And he's just like, Grogu. And he looks much better than what he did in Mando Season 2. I know most people are saying that, but I gotta agree. He actually looks like Luke, and not like a video game Luke Skywalker. I'm not trying to say the Mando one was bad or anything. It was not that bad. It was their first try at it. Of course it was going to be hard to get Luke in there. And, we get a lot of training montage of Grogu learning to force jump or whatever. And, it's quite interesting. And I like how Luke is completely different. Like, has like a completely personality before what he was in Last Jedi. Like, he goes from calm, patient, to completely different. That's what I like. Change. Any kind of change to then realizing from one's mistakes. So, And then Din Djarin takes a nap and then wakes up, and guess who he meets? Ahsoka. And, wow. It's just, I did not expect to see her at all. Like, my jaw dropped when I saw her. And, here's another best part. Ahsoka gets to interact with Luke. I never thought they did, and it came true. I'm just like, I thought we'd see that in the Ahsoka show, but, no, it's happening in the Book of Boba Fett. And, that was amazing. Just an amazing scene. And then, after Grogu gets his gift, Din leaves. Well, Grogu doesn't get it till the end, but, Din leaves back to Tatooine, and, we see Boba. He just stands there with Fennec Shan as she explains what their mission is, and we see the robot people and Blacker Sandin, and, you had to get Boba Fett in there. And honestly, this just feels like a big crossover episode. That's what I like about this episode. It's all of them coming together. And, by the way, I forgot to mention Cobb Vamp. Yeah, Cobb Vanth's in it, and, I did not expect to see him either. And, I thought his story was done. I thought we'd see him in a flashback, but no, we're seeing him in the present of this timeline. And, here's the big spoiler. Oh, as Din Djarin is explaining why he needs an army to take down the Pike Syndicate, who's trying to take over Tatooine, Cobb Vamp literally has a duel with Cad Bane, and Cad Bane says Boba Fett's a murderer, and that could be interesting. We could maybe get that if they do a season 2. I don't know, but this episode was amazing. It just really was. I can't wait to figure what else they're gonna do with the story. They're trying to build it up towards a bigger story. I can just tell. But we don't know. And, I look forward to the next episode. Now, I wish Boba was in these 2 episodes, but then again, it will probably make sense towards the next episode. I understand they're trying to get us back into the Mandalorian saga, but I'm accepting what they did for these stories. Other than that, this was a fantastic episode. I'd give it like a, why not, 10 out of 10. It's great. So, I'm going to review the last episode when it comes out. Well, not exactly on that day, but during the week. But, I thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time, and may the Force be with you always.